Alright, it's Colin Google McDougall with you, and I want to give you a quick update on the site plan that I was putting together based on the domain name. In the last video I showed you how to register a domain name, and I want to show you something not to do and why I've gone and registered a new domain name. So the point is, in the last video you learned how to actually register a domain name, but I made a grave mistake on that one, and before I proceed with it, I've already got stuff in the works. Articles are off to writers. I've been writing some of my own content, but I've had a slight shift in course here. And what I've done is change my mind on what my domain name is. And you're going to do this from time to time. You're going to have a change of mind as you plan your site. But if you risk 10 bucks on a domain name, I mean, you're really not out of pocket that much money. But here's the key. I was going after domain appleiPodprices.com. As you see over here. Remember I showed you how to register a domain, and I showed you Apple iPod prices, and after a lot of thought about this, I've actually backed off that domain because guess what? I believe the lawyers from Apple Computers could definitely have a case against me to secure that domain and take it away from me, and I don't want that because at some point I'm going to want to sell the domain. So you remember I went and registered the domain, I set the domain servers, and now I'm just going to walk away from that domain because I don't need that headache. So when you're registering your domain, that is critical that you think about, is that phrase, is that any part of my domain somebody else's trademark? If that's the case, you can actually expect to hear from their lawyers. And I have to tell you a story about when I heard from the lawyers from Mattel. You see, my 5-year-old daughter, she was 5 years old at the time, we registered the domain PollyPocketPlus.com. And their lawyers got rather nasty because, well, one, I outranked Mattel on their own branded name, Polly Pocket, these little tiny dolls. But it was a blog that I was building in order to show my daughter what her daddy does for a living. I asked her what her favorite toy was. She said Polly Pocket, so I registered Polly Pocket Plus because we were going to talk about My Little Pony and her Barbies and all kinds of different toys. But anyway, that's an important consideration when you're registering a domain. Don't squat on somebody else's brand. It's only going to bring you heartache and sorrow down the road. So anyway, to combat that, I've already put some work into this. Hang on here one second, folks. See, I've just been making notes of what I'm doing. I registered the domain. That domain, was definitely a mistake. But this plan doesn't change. And as I was going through the plan, I realized Apple iPods, really, I'm promoting MP3 players, and by just promoting Apple iPods, I'm limiting myself from promoting, say, the Sony Zune and various other MP3 players. So here's what I did about that. Site plan doesn't change to date. So I put some base level categories. I'm going to do some reviews of the iPod Touch. These articles are already off to the writer. And I've got about 40 articles off to my writer right now, but that's not going to change what I do. You see, I'm already doing work before I actually publish my site. And one of the reasons that that's kind of an important fact here is before you can actually get accepted into affiliate programs, merchants are going to potentially want to review your site to see what it looks like and see that you're producing some great content and that it's going to reinforce their brand. So even before you register a domain, it's okay to start creating content, because once you create content, you're ready to roll and get your domain set up. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that once I get my articles back and all that. But now, you see, I've registered a new domain name, so I have to go back and manage my domain and set up my DNS servers as I showed you in the last video. But we'll show you again. So here, I'm hosting this one on Goldbar. So I have to go in and find my MP3. What the heck's my site called again? It is, oh, we've walked away from there, but it was mp3playersrated.com. So now, yeah, I made a mistake on that domain. I could probably publish it, probably make some money, but again, I definitely do not want to squat on somebody else's branded term. So now I've changed my course, and I'm going to go enter my DNS servers in here. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how I'm putting together mp3playersrated.com. So stay tuned for that, folks. But when you're registering your domain, it is crucial, very crucial, that you don't want those headaches from lawyers coming at you from large companies because you're squatting on their brand. So when you look at a keyword, or as I showed you, you go through your keyword research, you try and get part of the keyword into the URL because that right now is going to help your rankings. But if somebody else owns that term, if it's a branded name, a trademark name, stay away from it. Stick with more generic terms. You see, this case study right here, MP3 players rated. Nobody can brand or own the name MP3 players. That's just a thing. So I'm going to go out and rate them. So nobody can get mad at me for this, and take that into consideration when you're registering your domain. But if you register a branded name, you know what? Keep it in the back burner for a little while. You can keep that secret. That's not something that you will do well with for the long term, but possibly you can actually do some tricks of the trade and do something with that short term. But we will talk about that on some live calls that I'll be conducting later on. So for the time being, make sure that you get a generic domain that nobody's going to get angry with you for. So that's just a little tidbit of advice that I'd like to share with you to save you some future headaches. Yes, you can make a lot of short-term money, but you will get kicked out of affiliate programs. You'll hear from lawyers. So save yourself that headache up front and stay away from trademark domain names. That's just a little tidbit that will save you a lot of time. Trust me on this, folks. Anyway, yours in success, Colin Google McDougall, signing off for now. And I will be back in the next video showing you exactly how to configure WordPress, set up your entire blog, and start making some money. So keep going with the keyword research. If you don't have WordTracker, go get it now. If you don't have KRA Pro, go to VEOreport.com/KRA Pro and get it now, because you're going to need these two tools ongoing every day in your business. So get them now, take action, and that is the biggest key to making money online, is take action now, today. Don't worry about making mistakes. You know, I've been in this for over 10 years now, and I just showed you a mistake I just made. But I had the smarts to say, I'm walking away from that mistake. So anyway, that's all I have to say for today. And go get your domain. Make sure you get your keyword reports done. Keep the content rolling. And I'm going to show you exactly step by step everything you need to do from that point forward. Take care, my friends.